Hello and welcome to The Mystery. I am Matt, I am a psychic, I am a medium, I am an eclectic witch, and my practices include so many different things from around the world. It is absolutely awesome and never gets dull. So today I would like to bring us our fire signs charm casting for the week of June 5th through June 11th. Now remember, these readings are not timeless, so therefore when you see this reading it will apply for the week of June 5th through June 11th. I read charms very much on a in the moment sort of basis. When I cast them out, I look at what is directly in front of us for the energies directly in front of us. Remember, if you would like to schedule a private reading, my website, www.themystery.me, and that's mystery spelled with an M-I-S-T-E-R-Y. If you would like a more private reading that involves infinite amount of questions within a half an hour or an hour, you can go to that website, which is linked below with all of my other links, and you can schedule through the contact form. All of my session pricing and details is on that website. Let's go ahead and get kicked right off into our fire signs for the week of June 5th through 11th of 2022. Fire signs, June 5th through the 11th of 2022. Okay, let's see what we got going on here. Again, like some of the other readings that I've done this week, our main focus right here is on not really traveling as much. Not really traveling, but maybe sending out energy and messages to people who are farther away from you, or you have felt that have been farther away from you, that you might have not been comfortable talking as much to within the last bits of the retrograde. So maybe reaching out to some people and coming through with your vitality. And what's this? This makes a lot of sense as to what I just said. Your unlock moment towards abundance and towards feeling like the joy that comes from your inner child, the joy that is childlike. Maybe through the social right now. And maybe through the social and bring you towards a sense of vitality that springboards you into getting to know and talking to more people that you may have not talked to in a while, and that you may not necessarily see in person, but you may not be directly traveling, but you may be connecting with them online, you may be connecting with them over the phone, you may be connecting with them in various other ways without having to travel to them directly. So I see a lot of potential in that. Let's see here. What else do we have? I see a lot more ability to be intimate and vulnerable with yourself when it comes to the home. So when it comes to your family, when it comes to you, your own space, I see you being able to arrange your space and arrange your energy within your space more productively over the next week. I know this retrograde has been chaotic for a lot of us, but I see you being able to sift through a lot of your own energies a little bit better. And the emotions are just outside the home too. So if you start moving yourself towards anything outside of your own comfort zone, you may get a little bit of this confused energy on what you should cut out and what you shouldn't. There's a little bit of mental chatter towards intuition. So there's a lot of sifting through what your own mental state is, and sifting out all the chatter, what's serving you and what's not. And on the outside of that is that pervasive, oppressive energy. That's almost like the energy of an old lady's perfume that pervades the air. And, what you're having to cut out that you may be a little bit more confused on within this next week, if you step outside of your comfort zone a little bit, and this may not be a bad thing to do, You may be a little confused at first, but you'll know exactly how to cut out what festering, disease-ridden, almost toxic energies are. Although I would tread a little bit lightly and do so very intentionally in the next week. Know your limits, be very specific, and focus on one energy line at a time. I always say it's very helpful to work with multiple energy lines, but if you don't separate them out, then it can get kind of chaotic in a way that is less controllable. Isolation of variables is key. Your grounding will come through your passions, and that will lead you through up into another line of awareness, almost a hanged man in the tarot awareness. Like a shift in perspective, a needed shift in perspective that, like a lot of the other signs, your death card moment has already happened. You are springboarding yourself into that new cycle, but also you need to reevaluate your own energies in the home, in an isolated environment, and you need to get really vulnerable with yourself. And a little bit of more internalization might not hurt either. I know fire signs are always usually amped up about social situations and whatnot, and but you have to reserve some of that energy for yourself as well. You have to reserve some energy for yourself as well. See, your passions, all of your passions, everything that lights up your heart is just outside of all of the things, all of those that death card moment that has already happened, and needing to reflect internally more and be vulnerable with yourself. So your passions lie just outside of that. And that may be even more of a lesser unlock moment towards that line of energy. Over here I see no new starts, but no new starts leading towards more of your own wish fulfillment in your own spirituality. A lot of our spiritualities have been laid on their side a little bit during this last Mercury retrograde. They haven't disappeared entirely, but it's almost like we've been having to do intentional manifestation and magic. Not necessarily physically. A lot of people have waited, and I think that's sometimes smart. But I'll also, if you're in need, you don't have to necessarily wait. But a lot of us have seen our own spirituality on its side, and I would still say no new beginnings during this shadow period coming up, but it's okay to look towards what may be coming after that. What are your hopes and your dreams? What are you wanting to do spiritually? This is this last shadow phase is really good for the planning period when it comes to what you're wanting to manifest through your desires. I'm being led to say focus, even though you're needing to internalize, still focusing on the masculine aspects of things is not necessarily a bad thing. The feminine is kind of turned over right now. The intuitive is kind of turned over, so that to me tells me that internalization on those feminine aspects may be much more productive for you, and the direct and manifesting energies of the masculine may be more helpful for you in that aspect. Now, if it was reversed and the feminine was flipped over right side up and the masculine was flipped over face down, then I would say do less physical and more spiritual. But all of our spiritual aspects through the feminine seem to be more internal and seem to be working better in a more internal sense or a more hidden sense, and the masculine is doing a lot better manifesting super physically and getting all of our goals actually out there. It may be helpful to connect with earth signs as well when it comes to physically manifesting those things through your fiery masculine aspects. Now, your commitments are just outside of arcane knowledge, and that arcane knowledge brings a lot of sun card in the tarot energy, sun card in the Lenormand energy, that fiery, passionate, but also super, super comfortable energy. And the seeds of intention are right next to it. So I feel like there's been a lot of work done magically and otherwise, and it has made you sort of examine your commitments, examine your loyalties, and brought forth a need and shown you a need of your loyalties to step into that masculine, I'm going to manifest it type of energy. You want it, you see it, you got it kind of energy. And last but not least, I know this is a slightly shorter reading than I would normally do, but sometimes the dragged out readings, means there's a lot more going on, and that could be a good or a bad thing. But right now during retrograde, all of my readings being shorter personally, I'm always about actionable steps, actionable results, getting in and going, and seeing what I need to change and what I need to do. So that, to me, is not always a bad thing to have a slightly shorter reading. Any messages coming out of those seeds that you planted are leading you directly towards your boundaries, your blockages, your barriers. So, but those are far off, way farther off than we can even imagine. So, those seeds that we're planting and being comfortable in right now, I'm not saying they're leading you to a bad situation, but they're leading you to new barriers that it's almost an awareness thing. They're leading you to awareness of new barriers so you can more aptly prepare yourself for what those might be, so you can shake them down and destroy them if you so choose. Now, when it comes to making decisions or being in the crossroads, I see more need in the area of sort of being sneaky in this next week with your decisions. So you don't have to tell everything to everybody for your own choices. Just because you make a choice doesn't mean you have to put it out there publicly. There's a lot of power in secret knowledge. That's like most everybody wants to share their own practice so other people can learn from it as well, but there are things that are more powerful when they're kept hidden as well. So I guess there's that more of that need in keeping your energy very cunning when it comes to making decisions in this next week, and it may serve you well. I hope you liked this reading. I hope it resonated for you, and as always, if like what resonates, keep it, and then take the rest with a grain of salt. And obviously, all my links, as always, are down below. My GoFundMe link's there. My Buy Me a Coffee's there, which is like Patreon, but it has one-time donations as well. And then my website is there, and what have you. I'm always around. Again, I'd like to say that I hope you enjoyed this reading, and don't forget to hit that like, comment if you liked it, and subscribe. If I do not get to 1,000 subscribers, then I cannot turn on any benefits from YouTube, and that is my eventual goal, to get to 1,000 subscribers so I can do a lot more with this channel. Hope you've enjoyed, and I hope you have a great rest of your week.